Hello and welcome. I am Manu Gambhir, CEO and co-founder of Snapyr, an engagement marketing platform for mobile games. My background has been in the games industry for a long time. At the risk of dating myself, I'll share that I started building games for a machine called the Commodore 64. My first game was actually a hyper-casual game called Tricky Turtle. It was a variant of Donkey Kong for those of you who remember that. I think I had about 5 DAU on that game. But since then, I've been involved in gaming for real money casino, poker, and sports betting, social games, mobile games, and more recently, play to earn NFT gaming. Seeing some very interesting projects that are combining hyper casual and play to earn blockchain gaming that I think are really going to define kind of the future of this genre. Throughout this journey, I've been involved in every aspect of the business as a developer, a game designer, an investor, an executive. Uh, these days, I'm part of the largest gaming company in India. It's called Games 24/7. And of course, I'm also running Snapper, which is a startup in the player engagement space. And we're going to talk more about that today. During this long journey, marketing, especially retention marketing, has become a passion of mine, and Snapper is really born from that passion. So, hyper casual games, and we know it's a huge opportunity. It's a multi billion-dollar market still and growing, but the competition is super intense, and these games are difficult to make them successful. They have short shelf lives. The churn rate is quite high, so there's going to be a lot of failures. But the failure is just part of the process. To succeed in this, you need to be super scientific about everything. Every action you take, from your game design to your marketing, it just needs to focus on driving LTV. Um, Game design, of course, is the centerpiece of your business. You need a solid game with a great core loop to keep people playing. Uh, but one area that often doesn't get enough attention and yet is critical is engagement marketing. And I wanted to talk today about why you should really focus on engagement marketing as part of your overall effort to drive growth in your business. So let's take a look at a typical player life cycle. I'm sure this is a chart that many of you have seen, where players begin on day zero here, and then some of the players climb up the hill to become active customers. Hopefully, they hang out here a long time, but typically with hyper casual, it's not all that long. And then they start to come down the other side of the hill, where we call it the churn phase of the player life cycle. And so the job of engagement marketing is pretty straightforward. For the players who are kind of stuck on this part of the journey, let's give them a push to help them up. And the players who are coming down on the back side of the hill, let's give them a push to keep them back and active in the game. Now, we need to be smart about this. Different players have different reasons that they're not moving up the journey. And, our messaging and our efforts and initiatives, they really need to be tailored to the specific issues that each customer is having. And so I wanted to share with you today, some of the things that have worked for me in the past with regards to this, and how a platform like Snapper can really help you with implementing engagement campaigns. But before we get into that, I just wanted to share with you what the actual impact of this has been. Um, at Games 24/7, we've had a phenomenal impact by focusing on the entire player life cycle, by implementing campaigns that focus on the new, active, and churning players and specific cohorts within each, and by tuning those campaigns over time. We've had a phenomenal 50% increase in player lifetime value, and that's a large number for a business of our size. And so this is just to say that engagement marketing does have a major impact on the gaming business, and I think generally we all need to pay more attention to this. So let me share with you some of the specific things that I've done over time in terms of different types of campaign concepts at each player life cycle stage. So for new players, and this is the most critical stage because we know that by day 7, at least 90% of your players could be gone. And saving players or retaining players at this early stage is critical because the more players you retain up front, of course, they're going to flow through your P&L and drive a healthier bottom line. So this is not a time to be shy. When players aren't moving up that hill, you need to intervene and you need to get them moving up that hill and put every effort that you can towards doing that. So if you don't do anything else with engagement marketing, focusing just on this part, I would say is really critical. And so there's many, many things that can work here. I'm just sharing some of the ones that I've used successfully in the past. So one strategy is really just real-time indications of major in-game events. And what I mean by that is, depending on the type of game you have, and maybe there's a tournament that's about to start, maybe somebody hit a jackpot or hit an all-time high score. Um, Maybe it's that a new feature was launched. Something exciting news that just keeps players who are at that early stage engaged in what the game is all about. So these are real simple things, but you need to be relevant. So different players need different types of messaging, and understanding your audience and making sure you're tailoring the message to each person. That's very important. Um, Another thing that is a straightforward strategy that really works is challenging them. Just directly call out to them via push notification that, hey, can you get to level 3 by the end of today? We dare you. Um, a lot of players respond to that type of challenge, but some don't. So again, you need to identify the cohort that is going to be receptive to this type of messaging. Uh, Giving them something, of course, bribing them with a power up, or if you have in-app purchases, a discount, that always works. I've used these more sparingly because they do affect the bottom line. But when I find that some players are really kind of stuck and nothing else is working to push them, then we try these more aggressive tactics. Uh, and then last, but certainly not least, giving them, if we notice they're stuck on level 1 or level 2, giving them a specific strategy that says, hey, here's how you can move forward to level 2. Uh, Very simple thing, but often works wonders in terms of moving players along. For active players, there's really not a lot that you want to do. They're active, they're engaged, they're generating revenue for you, and life is good at the moment. So take a short break and enjoy it while you can. Um, but there is a little bit that you can do. Again, announcing new features and upcoming features keeps them active longer. And then a specific thing that I've done that has really had some resonance is what I call a gamified rich push notification. And let me show you what I mean by that. So here's an example. So we have a game called Pet Haven. Katie is the main character in Pet Haven, and this is her dog. And so for players who are actively engaged, we just want to give them some aspect of the game outside of the game. And so at some point, they'll get a push notification that says, hey, answer this correctly and win 50 coins. What's Katie's dog's name? And you have 3 choices. And sometimes we might put a time limit on this, answer this correctly by the end of the day. And this type of thing really extends the game into a push notification and just generates more engagement and prolongs their lifetime or their life at the active stage. Finally, we come to churning players. And players churn for a variety of reasons, right? So players, that they can get bored of the repetitive gameplay. In our business of hyper casual games, ads are a major source of revenue, and sometimes we get too aggressive with the ads. So just too many ads can turn a player off. Um, or they're just getting bored of the game and looking for the next thing. So whatever it may be, engagement marketing at this point is also critical. And again, context sensitive to what their particular situation is. Some of the things that have worked for me here are uh, reminding players of their big achievements. In a game I had, we would send players that, hey, remember this big win that you had a month ago, and send them a little video clip of when they actually hit that jackpot. It drives some nostalgia, reminds them that they've had success in the game, and drove re-engagement into the game. Um, Another very simple idea is just to let them to drive their competitive spirit and let them know how many players are ahead of you. Hey, did you know that 2,000 players have passed level 9 and you're still stuck on level 8? And so that type of thing works for a lot of players. Again, by defining and getting to know your players, you'll know which ones to message with this type of content and which ones not to. Um, New features, tips, strategies, that definitely works at this stage as well. Um, and one of the specific tactics there is I've used the concept of saying, hey, this is a secret insider tip, to keep it feeling exclusive, something that, isn't widely known, that just generates more engagement. And finally, if they're really not engaged and you feel like there's just no way to get them back to the active stage, then great, then cross promote your other games to them. Let's keep them within the portfolio of games, and not lose them, within our network. So I wanted to talk to you about how can Snapper really help with something like this, and what is Snapper? This image that you're seeing shows you how we actually build campaigns in Snapper. And I'm going to flip over and show you an actual build a live campaign for you. Um, so let's start from scratch. I'm going to hit new campaign here. This is really the heart of Snapper. And let's say the idea for our campaign is this, that we have a poker game and we've got players who are in the churn phase of the life cycle. They haven't logged in for a while, and they don't have much money left in their balance. And so whenever there's a big win event, someone won a big hand, uh, we want to send them all a message saying that someone won a big hand, with the hopes that that re-engages them. So just a simple idea to illustrate how we build campaigns in Snapper. So we say start this campaign when some trigger occurs. So we'll say when an event is received. Now our app via our APIs is sending all of the events into Snapper. So the specific event we want here is poker win. And we're going to further qualify it to say the event poker win where the event property payout is greater than or equal to 100,000. So now we have when this event is received, and this little red dot indicates that there's a further filter on it. Then for a specific group of people, so now we're going to define an audience. This is our cohort. So the group, let's say, is an audience where all of the following things are true. That one, their account balance. So let's get to the account balance is, let's say, less than or equal to maybe 100 chips. And let's say they also haven't logged in for a week, right? So we'll say that the player login event has not occurred uh, in the last 1 week, right? So now we've created a audience of people who meet this criteria. We'll give this audience a name, HC test B, create. Okay, and I picked this audience. So now we're saying that, say, when this event comes in, for everybody who's a part of this audience, now let's do an A/B test. And we can divide this audience into two branches of 50-50. And Snapper allows you to create as many branches as you want. You can create 3 branches, change the allocation per branch. But for right now, let's just keep it 2 branches. And let's keep this campaign very simple for now, just for illustrative purposes. Let's say that all we want to do is test between whether a push notification or an email is more effective. Let's assume we have the email address of these players also. So we say for branch A, we're going to select, we're going to select our push notification channel. And then this is just a test push notification that we've made called David's nagging notification. If I open it up, you can see the design of it. And you can design any kind of push notification right here within Snapper. So this one has some simple content and some custom traits, merge fields that are in it. You can add rich media, you can add custom action buttons to your push notifications. Um, but that's the one that we're going to send out to people who end up in branch A. And then for branch B, let's say we want to try out an email. And the goal of this experiment is to see what's more effective. So let's say we send an email that's called Skookle. Um, and Skookle is going to be published via email. So if I click on Skookle, you see our email design tool, and it's a fully featured, what you see is what you get email design tool. You can design with HTML as well. Um, I'm from Philadelphia, so for those of you who know Rocky, we have the Rocky statue in this test email. And that's it. This is a really simple campaign. And once it's ready, you just hit run and that's it. The campaign is live. You start getting real-time statistics on the performance of your campaign, detailed insights on who's interacting with these emails, who's not interacting with the emails. So a very fast way to build engagement campaigns. Um, I didn't show you everything. We also have lots of additional capabilities within the platform. You can control the flow of your logic with if blocks. You can pause your campaign. You can configure user attributes during the execution of your campaign. So there's a lot more to this. Of course, happy to give anyone a demo if they're more interested in seeing how the platform works. But very quickly, just to show you some of the other aspects of it, you can create any type of creative here. You have an email, you hit new creative, and then this is the interface. Just drag and drop to create your creative design for your email. Similarly, for the mobile push, which I showed you earlier as well, you can design your push notification. Um, and same for SMS. All of the users that you have are stored here. So you can send whatever user data you want to Snapper. You can send it by API or by file import if that makes more sense for your use case. Here we have about 1.25 million users in this test database. When you click on a user, you see all of their traits and the values for those traits. If the trait doesn't have any value assigned to it, you see no data. So you can see this user has quite a few traits that are attributed to his user profile. Most of them don't have any value though. Um, you can also see all of your events. So these are all the different types of events that are coming into Snapper from your app, from purchase success to account status and add cash. You can send whatever type of events you want, just like you send them maybe to Google Analytics um, with the properties of the events. And these can be used to trigger campaigns or to define cohorts. And then you can also create your interfaces to your channels. So depending on which email service provider you use, you create a channel to connect to them. Uh, Mobile push we handle natively within Snapper, or SMS is again, whichever provider you use, you interface to that provider. So it's just a quick overview, but really the heart of it is what I showed you earlier, where we design campaigns. And so this is just a different campaign that we have. If you are building campaigns and you have errors, we show you the errors in real time. And so we're early with this. Version 1 is live after a lot of work. Um, and the process to continue building this platform is never ending. So would love to hear from those of you who are interested in learning more about this and have ideas on how we can expand this um, as to what you might need. Some of the things we're working on right now are to add much more advanced A/B testing. Specifically, one near-term upcoming feature is that while your A/B test is running, we show you a predicted winner and the confidence of that prediction. And when the confidence is high enough, will give you a check mark to say, yep, we called branch B as a winner. And it just gives you much more clarity in being able to have actionable results from your experiments. We're also working on interfaces to more channels. You saw that we currently support email and SMS and push notifications. We're going to be supporting social channels, Discord as well. And if there are any other channels that you're using, let us know. We'd love to hear about that. So yeah, so please feel free to contact me. My email is here, and if you'd like to book a demo, use the link here. We are currently running an early adopter program. There's no charge to use the platform while we're running this program. We're looking for clients who we can really learn from, who want to use the platform to drive retention in their games. Um, and it's going to be a limited early adopter program. We've already had a lot of clients sign up, and I think we're going to fill that pretty quickly. So if you are interested, definitely reach out to me. But thank you very much for your time, and wish you all the best of luck with the new games that you're developing.
So we can go on with questions and answers. The first question was, great tool. Could you please share any numbers on the pricing?
Sure. So right now we are actually not charging anything. So at the moment the price is free. It won't always be free. And the pricing model, I can give you an idea of what we're thinking about. It's essentially going to be based on the number of active users you have in your game. And right now we're thinking about something around $7, $8 per 1,000 active users per month. So that's a indicative pricing, but at the moment the platform is completely free. And also going forward, for very young companies, people who just have maybe a few thousand active players or something like that, it'll always be free.
Okay, and please be more active in asking questions. The next question is, how many languages supported?
Well, the tool really is language agnostic. You can design your creatives, your emails or push notifications or SMSs in any language of your choice.
All right. And the next question, it's general. Does COVID pandemic affect on the user retention in the whole, in general?
Yeah, it does affect the user retention.
And how?
Yeah, but it affects it in a positive way, right? People are sitting at home looking for more entertainment, so they're playing more than ever before. So COVID, lockdowns, etc., have been helpful to the game industry, but at the same time, the amount of competition is growing so much, right? People have unlimited entertainment options, whether it's other games or whether it's Netflix or anything else. Investing in retention marketing is just much more important, than ever before, given all of this competition.
All right. I think that is all for now.
Okay.
Thank you again. Thank you one more time for today. And also, I would like to thank to everybody who was with us. So stay with us and see you tomorrow. Bye.
Great. Thank you, Vlad.